and welcome to Witchy Shit and Manga Lit with Cartabus and Rawiyah. We are back this week with another topic, and
we actually do have a topic today.
We do? Okay,
yeah.
What's the topic?
So one of the topics is we're going to talk about the animation industry.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, and the yeah. There's a lot of shit to talk about.
There's stuff happening.
There's stuff happening, and it's not a surprise to me, and I'll explain why. But and the other topic is, like, if we get to it, I want to go into zodiac stuff because
okay,
I don't know. I've been feeling like a certain way about zodiac stuff lately, and I want to talk about it a bit.
Okay, cool.
Specifically called out constantly by my own zodiac.
All right, I'm here for it. So, like, what have you been consuming media-wise this week?
Sasaki and Miyano. Lots of, like, that is where my brain lives right now, is those boys being in love, and I can't. They're so cute.
And the pureness.
It's gonna stop being pure real soon. That's all I'm saying.
Like, we're just waiting for Miyano to become legal in this BL for Sasaki to not feel like he's taking advantage of him, even though he's only a year older than him.
You're only a year older. Like, it's not like it's an adult. Like, when you asked me what my first BL was, that's why I'm like, I am so embarrassed. When I was in college, I started reading this BL called Loveless. And if you look up Loveless, it's about cat boys, which, like, obviously, yes, 1,000%. But, like, the main character's like 13. And his love interest is like 26 or something ridiculous like that. And I'm just like,
oh my God, I'm looking at one of the covers of it.
I told you. Embarrassing. Yeah.
They made an anime out of it too.
They didn't care in the early 2000s. They were like, age gap, schmage gap.
Oh my God.
I mean, the other really popular BL at the time was Junjo
It's
Romantica.
on Hulu.
And are you adding it? Don't. I'm telling you.
No, I am not. I'm not adding it. I'm not going to watch it. I swear. I'm just shocked because it's still available.
I feel like that's a lie. No, but yeah.
I feel like that's a lie.
I feel like that's you like problematic shit. Tell me I'm wrong.
My choices have often been to steer towards some problematic. Even though in my front facing life, I'm totally like, no, that is problematic and this is a bad thing and I don't do it. And I wouldn't ever recommend someone to do it. But my first reaction is
do not watch this. You're like, clicky on the thing. And I'm like, don't.
My first response to shit is to, like, go the more problematic route, which is why I need balance. Because I'm like, oh, let's just punch him in the throat. That's fine.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Problematic and prone to violence.
Yeah, I do tend to like my leads like that too.
Right? I mean, look at your son, Inosuke.
Oh God, that child. He is unhinged. I love him so much.
He's totally unhinged. Completely unhinged. I'm picking moss out of my hair from a show I was in.
Yeah.
So, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's what the fuck I'm doing. I wore this wig.
They did not go roll around outside. It was part of the play.
It was part of the play. I was not rolling in leaves like a forest nymph.
I mean, you could have been. We're just
I'm too much of a Virgo for
designating.
that, but we'll get into that later. So Sasaki and Miyato.
Yeah, so Sasaki and Miyano has been the majority of what I've been watching lately. I've
Uh-huh.
also been watching, like, an excessive amount of a YouTube channel called Some More News because I
Mm-hmm.
find it funny, and it's the only way I can consume news without wanting to kill myself, so
Yeah. Thank you for recommending that. Some more news it's called. I might
yeah.
look into that. Oh my god, I'm gonna have moss in my bed. That's fine.
Yeah, then you
That's
can
fine.
just tell people that you are a forest nymph, and that's how that works.
I can. I
And
brought nature inside with me.
we watched Tokyo Godfathers this week, which I adored. That was really
Yes.
fun. I am a fan of that.
I'm so glad you liked it. It's a Christmas movie. I didn't realize it was a Christmas movie.
It totally is.
Yeah.
It got me
When
feeling a
people
sense
make
of joy.
recommendations for their Christmas movie, I'm gonna put Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah. I will admit though that I have overstretched myself with these draw this in your styles that I've been doing for people
Mm-hmm.
because I have like 5 due on the 20th. And
Wow.
I'm like, there is no way I gotta delete a couple of these. So like I'm getting rid of the ones that aren't mutuals or that like don't look as fun as some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I basically designated by are you a mutual with me? And then after that it's does this look super duper fun or not? So I'm gonna delete 2 of them right now
Mm-hmm.
because they are not as fun as the other 2.
Yeah, you sent me your to-dos last week or week before last, and I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that's a lot of started projects. That's a lot of work
Yeah.
in progress.
One of them actually messaged me to say she was extending it, and I was like, "Thank you. I love you. You're still higher on the list than everybody else, but, yeah, thank you." 'Cause I wanna try something different because the way she does eyes is really unique, and because her characters are so stylized, doing them in my style is going to make them look very disturbing, which I think is
Nice.
cool. So
Nice. Funsies.
so yeah, I'm excited about that. How about you? What have you been consuming?
Likewise, a lot of Sasaki and Miyano. Um, Especially since you sent me some, I was living for that. And I must. Okay, so anybody listening, I'm broke. I'm hella broke right now because I'm a disabled, fat, queer, black person living in the United States, and that that does not lead to a lot of options financially, to the point where I'm thinking of taking up coding. Like I need a job I can
Ooh,
work from home,
yeah.
or something. Yeah, I think about coding. But all that to say, I don't have much income, but I got a Barnes and Nobles account and a Nook, and I bought I bought the first 3 chapters, the first 3 volumes. I'm sorry, of Sasaki and Miyano.
Well, thank you for telling me that so I don't get you the entire collection in physical books like I was going to.
Give me the entire collection of physical books if you're going to. If you're going to, because there's one thing about digital media, and then there's one thing about like holding it in your hand that
Mhm.
is different. And that way, I'll stop buying them on Nook. And I got the first volume of Hirano and Katsuguri. What is his name?
Hirano and Kagiura.
Kagiura. Kagiura.
Kagiura, yeah, because they call him Kagi-kun.
Mhm.
So,
And then, but I've been reading them slowly. Like I read a
yeah.
chapter and then I take a break. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go see my kiddos, and I read another chapter. And I think that the anime did a really good job of, like you said, I think you said this last week, or we said this in a conversation just between the two of us. But they did a good translation from the manga. Like the English
Mhm.
translation is really, really good from
Yeah,
the manga.
that's what I was saying, like, you can literally hear Sasaki's voice when you're reading it because
Okay,
they, like, did it, like, basically straight up with the English one, I think. Ugh, it's
why
so good.
did they make Sasaki's eyes so full of longing and desire?
I'm
Like,
telling you, those drawings, I can't. The riz on that kid. I'm just sitting there staring at him like, this author kills me. I'm murdered.
why? Why did she do that? I mean, I'm reading the book like, where's my fucking Sasaki? Sasaki, where's my fucking Sasaki? I want someone who's gonna look at me the way Sasaki looks at Miyano. Like, that's my dream. That's my dream. That's my goal. That's my dream. That's my want. That's my desire. Uh, so I did that, but and Tokyo Godfathers was great. And a little bit about Tokyo Godfathers, highly recommend it. It was done by the same people who did Perfect Blue and Paprika, same director. Um, and I love Paprika. Like I get partway through Perfect Blue and I'm like, ah, and I've never finished Perfect Blue all the way.
Oh,
But
really?
Paprika, no, I never finished it all the way. It stresses me out.
We
Like
should
it's
we should okay,
stress.
so we should add both of those to the list because I've never seen Paprika, and if you've
Oh,
never seen Perfect Blue all the way, we should definitely do that.
let's do that. Um, Paprika was put out before Inception, and I really think that Inception was influenced by Paprika. And when you watch it, you'll
Oh,
see what I mean.
Paprika's already on the list. We're gonna watch it after Fushigi Yugi, so that's fine.
Okay, cool.
I
Um,
I added Hypnosis Mike to the list because I figured we needed something stupid to kind of
oh, we have
balance
to
out all
watch.
of the trauma.
I fell in love with the villainess should be on that list too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 'cause that
Yeah.
will be all the way out by the time we get there. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So, what else did I watch? I watched a little bit more of Yuri on Ice, but mostly it's been Sasaki and Miyato. And I have been like, that's what's inspired me to really, really dig into my queer romance fantasy that I'm writing. So, more than reading manga and anime, this week, I've been creating my own media this week, and it's been great. It's been lovely.
I love seeing how excited you are about your writing now. That makes me like, it gives me joy to watch you write.
Uh, it's a big part of it is because of you. Like our creative time together has definitely done
It's
that.
so good.
Yeah, and you've inspired me. Like watching you get back into your creative process helped me get back into mine. I know that I'm getting better as far as leading into my creative process because going to sleep at night, I'm thinking about this fucking book. Waking up in the
Ooh,
morning, I'm thinking about this fucking book.
yeah.
Like,
That's how you know
that's
you're in the zone, when you start, like, thinking of things. Because like, I've started thinking of, like, composition and lighting and shit like that when I'm just, like, sitting down, like, "Oh, I know how I'm gonna do that one. I'm gonna do it like this."
mhm. Mhm.
I am gonna
St-
use a panel from Sasaki and Miyano as a reference, for a piece later on. Actually, 2 pieces I have planned. I'm very excited.
I can't wait to see them. So yeah, and music wise, I've been listening to like anime soundtracks. I want to listen to Andre 3000's new album.
Ooh, he has a new album?
He has a new album out. It's all like I think he plays the flute. I think it's all him playing flute music and
Oh, that's
at at a
exciting.
at a healing frequency. Like the frequency is something like 324 or 342 or something like that, or 340. Like, he's playing it at a healing frequency. So it's not just like, this is the songs of my flute. It's like, it's all in tone to be of a certain frequency to work with your energetic waves and shit. So I want to listen to it. The first song on the CD is, I really wanted to write another rap album, but this is how the wind literally blew me. I'm like, that's an anime.
Yeah.
That's the
That
title of
does sound like an
an anime,
anime title. This is how the wind literally blew me. Okay, let's watch
Andre.
this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna listen to his new album. I started listening to it last night. But I wanna like listen to it during the day because I'm sure it's gonna put me to sleep at night and I want to experience the whole album. And also Cher came out with a dance Christmas album.
Okay, I'm kind of excited about that now because I love Cher.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to listen to that one too. And a few months ago, Dolly Parton came out with a rock and roll album.
Well, we love Dolly,
Yeah.
so
So that was fun. But yeah, that's about it for the media I've consumed. I'm really excited about the media that I've been creating. I'm still figuring out my characters, what they're I have to take a day and figure out, have them have just a conversation so I could see their personalities, like how I want to paint their personalities. I'm still playing around with that. But once I get those locked in, it's just gonna go smooth. It's gonna go smooth. I wrote a scene I'm particularly proud of, where, and I'm up to 8,000 words, over 8,000 words already, which is good for me since I haven't been writing much to like pull up 8,000 words. But I wrote a scene where they get like, there's an assassination attempt, and one of them is like, they fend him off. It takes two of them together, but they fend him off. And then at the end of it, um, Guillen is like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to learn how to fight to protect you." Like, that's the response. Like,
Oh,
Guillen,
and that's how she gets on her warrior path. That's
that's how
awesome.
she gets on her warrior path. That's how she gets on her warrior path.
I'm so excited for you with this one. I need a description of Gian as well. So
Okay, cool.
when when you get time, just when you get
Okay,
time.
okay. I'm gonna write out a further description of Asana to send
That
you,
that will help as well.
and I'll send you one of Guillen so we can see what it looks like. I know that Guillen is taller than Asana. Anyway, I'm super excited. I started writing a queer love scene, one of many. Um, and right now they're just at the kiss, but it's gonna move further because she's like, bed, and Guillen's like, yes, bed. Um, and yeah, and I wrote a post on Facebook like, what's your favorite trope in a romance or a romance fantasy book? And so a bunch of people wrote in what their favorite trope is. And I'm going to try to include as many as fucking possible because while this is a political intrigue, I want it ridiculous. So,
I accidentally put all the ones I knew from Sasaki and Miyano because that's what I had been reading. So I'm like, I want to see this, and I want to see this, and I want to see this, and I want to see this. You know what they're from.
yes, I do. I do. I do. I even want to work in an accidental kabedon in there.
Oh my god, that would be so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I am especially if it's the short one doing the Kabbage. I, uh,
Oh,
I love it when the tiny ones are aggressive.
oh my
I'm not gonna
God.
lie.
Yeah.
I love it when the tiny ones are aggressive. It makes me so happy.
It's gonna happen then, friend. I shall make it happen. I shall make it so. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, creating media. Um, and I'm posting it on Wattpad. So if anybody is listening and
You
wants to
should put
follow
the
it,
link. You should put
oh,
the link in the description.
I'll put the link in the description for Stoneheart. So if anyone interested in reading the journey, I'm planning on updating once a week, putting in a part at least once a week, even if it's small, because I need that kind of commitment in order to get this written.
Mm, mm, mm.
So yeah. So that's it. That's me. I'm super excited about it. I'm gushing about it like it's like it's a new relationship because it is a new relationship.
It
Like,
is.
yeah. Yeah. So that's it. So, what is going on? I don't have as much information as you do, but what is going on in the animation industry? Because all I know is that
So
people from MAPPA are like trying to take a page out of SAG's book,
yeah, so
because they're being
essentially
mistreated.
it is a common practice in the industry, both manga and anime, to basically have extremely short deadlines. So, the past couple of episodes of JJK have been completed literally hours before they need to be aired.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and because of the level of quality that MAPPA is demanding in the short amount of time that they are demanding it, they are literally burning people out. And some people are saying, like, they're not being paid, but that's a lie because MAPPA is actually one of the best paying animation studios in Japan. So, that's not the issue here. The issue is literally that they are working them to death. And so the likelihood of them going on a hiatus or delaying the next couple of episodes is high because the animators are walking. They're basically like, we can't literally can't continue with this type of schedule.
Mhm.
And it kind of speaks to the way the animation industry works across the board, not just in Japan. I don't know if I've gone on an animation industry rant to you previously, but yeah, that it's not Japan exclusive, and it is not, uh, anime exclusive with how animators are, in general, treated by the industry. Um, the only company that legitimately treats their animators correctly is Pixar. That's it. And,
Oh.
what I
Well,
mean by
Pixar's like a baby in animation world. Like they've been
yeah,
around for a bit, but they also got California Attitude because I think
they did.
they started in just outside Emeryville.
Yep. They're in
Yeah.
Emeryville, and, they actually hire their animators. So, most of their
Wait, they're not
animators
hiring other people's they're contractors?
yeah.
That is fucked up.
Yeah,
They're
so
essential.
basically, the majority of animators out there are working on a contract per project basis. So if they end on one movie and they can't get a contract together with the next movie, they don't have a job and they need to go find a different movie with a different job. Like, my old, roommate and my friend Jenny, she works for Pixar now, but her partner, he has basically been kind of a nomad in the industry since I've known him. So he's done projects for Weta, he's done projects for Blue Sky, he's done projects for a ton of different industries. And when Jenny worked for DreamWorks, they were going off of a contract basis. So basically, if you did not get a contract with the next movie, and it made it much easier for them to just basically let everybody go after one movie and move all of their animators to Korea, because that's what DreamWorks did.
Oh
They yeah.
no.
So in the mid
People keep
2000s
fucking
ish,
our economy by doing shit like that.
yeah, they
That fucks
basically
with our economy.
mhm. They shut down the Redwood City studios and basically
Ugh.
moved all animation to either LA or Korea, and if you weren't gonna move to LA, tough luck. You're not part of DreamWorks anymore. So, they lost the majority of that studio, and that's how Jenny ended up with Pixar a few months later, but, like, it's not like Pixar could take all of DreamWorks animators, you know what I mean? And she's a lighting
Mhm.
specialist, so she's not even on the animation side, but, like, still, it's the entire industry is like that. So, MAPPA apparently the starting pay with MAPPA is 240,000 yen, which I assume is per project, because that's $24,000, which is not enough for a yearly pay type of thing. So, I'm betting that they work on contract per project. And they probably hire a bunch of much more seasoned animators and stuff like that. Because the guy that we were talking about last time that did both Feral Gojo and Angry Nanami, he was actually the director of those episodes. So he was doing the animation direction, which is basically looking at the keyframes, making sure that those are correct and are giving the energy that they wanted them to give. So it wasn't super fair to say, yes, he's the one that was giving us those scenes, though he was making sure that those scenes read the way that they did. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, they've got a lot of famous animators that work for them in the industry at least. Um, but nobody can do the grind for that long. And I know that we may have touched on this a little bit with Chainsaw Man because Chainsaw Man was one of the ones that brought up Mappa's grueling schedule pacing type of thing because the animators were like burning the fuck out during that. That was a 12 episode show.
Mhm.
They were burning out on a 12 episode show. Jujutsu Kaisen is 24 episodes. So, yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So the fact that they've been pushing their animators this far to the point that they are to the wire getting the shows out means they have to delay. They've been begging for a delay for many episodes, and the, like, executive committee has been saying, "No, these need to come out on time."
No, they
So
need to delay. They need
that's
to delay.
why that's why the animators have started walking because they're like, "You guys aren't listening to us. We literally can't do this schedule anymore."
Mhm.
Um, so there is probably gonna be late. People are saying that it's gonna get canceled, but I very highly doubt that just due to the popularity of the show, and it's not like the studio's going under. It's very
Yeah.
specifically just the animators need a break, and most of us are like, "Give the animators a fucking
Give the
break."
animals a break. We can't I can't enjoy something that people are bleeding over.
Right, yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Like, I wanna see my husband. I love my husband.
Mm,
I love my Gojo. But, like,
let them take a
if it's
nap,
killing
Jesus Christ.
people to animate those eyes, then I don't want it.
Right, and I think they've realized that, so that's probably why after the next episode, there's gonna be a delay on the rest of the season, which is fine, I'm fine with that, because I'm gonna tell you the truth, the next 3 episodes are the only ones I'm concerned with. 'Cause I know what's gonna happen in them, and it's not gonna be okay, but the next 3 episodes are the only ones I'm concerned with, and as long as they get that to us by January, I'm happy, I don't need the rest of the season. We can watch the rest of the season later. So it's the next 3 episodes, especially the next one. It's the next episode that I'm very concerned about,
For you to
but they
say things are concerning, and also I've been seeing the things of JJK author meeting with God um Attack on Titan author, and they were like the two authors that are like hate people right now because of how things are going and how things are ending and how they're just murking favorite characters and um all that shit. So when you say you're concerned about the what's happening,
Mm,
um, I am like not about the industry, but about the show. You're like this
yeah.
episode, this episode, this episode. Part of me is like, I want to know what's going on right now because I'm the type of person that's like, does this hurt? Let me touch it.
Is this gonna burn me? I'm putting my whole hand in, thank you. Yeah, no, it's gonna burn
I'm
you
a
a lot. I'm just
sadist,
gonna I'm
masochist.
gonna warn you right now that when we're watching it, you're gonna start asking me. You're gonna start asking me about, like, about what's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you 0 things. I'm gonna let
Oh,
you sit and spin about it,
that
so
sounds amazing. time.
You're gonna be like, "Don't tell me this is gonna happen next." I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you then."
I am literally gonna be like that. As soon as episode starts, I'm like, this bitch can't die. He can't die. He can't die. He needs to get his ass kicked. When is he gonna get his ass kicked? Why are there a billion bunnies? Like,
Oh my god, I love Megumi's bunnies so much though. They're so cute.
like I know I'm gonna be like, and I'm also gonna be like, I bet this is gonna happen and da 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 da, because that's who I am as a person. And you're gonna be like, I ain't saying, I am not
Yeah.
giving
The
it
thing I
away.
love the best about Megumi's bunnies though is that like Yuji also loves them. So like he's like
Hmm.
literally holding on to one of them for half an episode. Like, this is my bunny now. And Megumi's like, what the okay, fine.
Oh
Oh,
my god,
they're
I'm
so
starting.
cute though.
I'm starting.
Huh?
Okay, I'm starting to have a problem with Yuji. Not Yuji himself, but with Sakuna.
Okay, Sukuna reads as a grown-ass man. I'm sorry, like,
Yes,
when they
okay,
actually
he does.
when it coming out, that is a man. Like, that is not Yuji, like, he reconstitutes that child's body. I am 100% on that.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I'm like, I'm not attracted to Yuji. I want to protect Yuji. But Sakuna
Yeah,
is a
Yuji
Sakuna.
is a baby. Sukuna's a man.
I'm like, Sakuna,
Sukuna's
oh.
a whole ass man. Ugh, the desire to draw Nanami is very strong. The desire to draw Toji is very strong. The desire to draw Gojo is very strong. I need to get through all these draw this in your style so I can get back to doing fan art. I have neglected my own characters for months now. They hate me. Oh well, I'm busy.
well, I hope that the animators get to take a rest, because if they're just because they deserve rest, and
Mhm.
also if they're producing what they're producing without rest, like
Yeah,
a fucking
basically
imagine.
at this point, their options are delay the shows to give them a break, or the animation quality is going to tank.
Yeah,
There's no other options, and if they let the animation quality tank, there will be riots
yeah,
in the street. If they
yeah.
try to cancel it, there will be riots. So they just have to let them take a rest. They gotta let
Hmm.
them take a rest. They gotta let or they have to delay it so that they actually have time to produce the level of quality they've been producing without hurting
Hmm.
themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basic math. You have to have time to produce the level of quality they've been producing, and the next couple of episodes, it is going to be crucial for them to be able to produce the quality, because this fight scene is so good, and they can't fuck it up. They can't fuck it up. They can't fuck it up.
Hmm.
Like, there will be riots if they fuck it up, basically.
Is
Um
is this? Because I don't know when this. Because I've been hearing. I've been staying. I can't stay off of Instagram. Um, is this a Sakuna Gojo fight?
No, no, that's not gonna
Oh,
happen
okay.
for a long time. That's not gonna
Okay.
happen for a long time.
Okay.
Um, no, it's a Mahito fight.
Mahito.
Fucking hate Mahito. He needs his ass kicked. Anyway, so yeah, I need to watch him be abused. As much as possible. Just as much as possible. Just knock his ass
Hmm.
into the ground. Mikey style,
Hmm.
just foot to the head. Foot to the head, straight
Oh,
down.
Mikey. Mikey. Oh, little Mikey. Oh, I've also been watching Heaven's Official Blessings. I'm still watching that. I am loving the two main characters. They
I
are
know.
so good
They're
together.
so cute. They're so
Oh,
cute. And, like, riddle me this, though. Why is Long so sexy?
so long is
Like
so go tell that shit on the fucking mountain. That man
like,
is he's foine.
he doesn't even need to
Fine.
try. He just shows up like,
No.
"Hey, I'm a ghost, bitch." You're like, "Yes, you are. You are a
Oh,
ghost."
no, he's more like, I'm not a ghost. Okay, you're not a ghost, but you're my man now.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they their energy from jump,
Mhm.
their
Yeah.
energy together is just just
Chef's kiss.
oh, so good. So good. And all the fan art I've run out across of
Yes.
them,
Uh-huh.
fucking
So,
swoon.
just so you know, like, in the later books, like,
Mm.
I think it's book 5 or something, there's an illustration they get down and dirty. He, like fucks him on a table and shit, like,
Oh!
they don't care, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I'll be reading all of these right now." Like, the animation's not gonna
Happiness.
go there because it's Chinese, but
Mhm.
but the books are uncensored.
Oh. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to get the books at some time in the future, but right now I'm enjoying watching the anime. And they're like you see certain characters come together and you're like, why are they together? Like that doesn't make any sense. These two characters, like just this unspoken like what is his name? San Lang?
Sanlong, yeah.
San Lang.
Mhm.
San Lang is like, I like you, you're mine.
Mhm.
I like you, you're mine. And that's just it. And the other one is just like, la la la, la, like,
Oh my god, yeah,
like
Jilian is
la la
such a
la.
baby. Like, he's just so pure, and I wanna protect him. He's just so pure.
So
He's not gonna
pure,
be
so
pure for
pure.
long.
I love it. 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 I want more of it. Of it. Of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm so grateful you introduced me to the BL genre.
See, and I'm only gonna recommend the good ones to you. That's why I was warning you off of, semantic error because, like, there's too many problematic things with it, it's not fun. It's not fun, especially since, like, it's very clear that the main guy, not the one who wears red, the other one,
Mm-hmm.
he like, it's pretty clear he's autistic of some kind because he doesn't like people, he doesn't talk to anybody, he has trouble making friends, he has trouble communicating, but he's very good at, like, coding, and he's very good at, like, doing X, Y, and Z things, and the other guy basically teases him into a relationship. Which, like,
Oh,
is fine, they have a good dynamic together, but the fact that he plans on leaving and he didn't think that was a problem because they were just playing around is a problem because,
yeah.
like, the other guy needs honest communication or he's not gonna understand what's happening. So, basically, he
Yeah.
was kind of coerced into a relationship, and then he fell for him, and then now he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave because this is casual as shit." And it's like, It it's not casual to him, you
Yeah.
fucking dick. Like, why would you do that? I'm hoping, like, he'll, like, decide to stay, but I don't know. I stopped reading because I got tired of the dynamic. But when it comes to things that we could watch that are, translations, I really wanna watch Love Tractor, though I'm worried that they made them too aggressive because the comic is so cute. The comic is on
Mm-hmm.
Tapas, it's on Tappy Tunes, but, it's less expensive on Tapas, so I highly recommend reading it. Um, It's adorable. It's so fucking cute. It's the one that has, like, the himbo protagonist, which
Uh-huh.
you know I love a good himbo, and he is just giant and not smart, but very good at farming. I love him so much.
Hmm.
Um, and they did do a drama of that one, so that one could be good, and then the Candy Colored Paradox, which I told you about,
Yes.
that is the comic that I've read, and it's a rivals to lovers thing,
Mhm.
and the one of the protags has very, wet cat energy, and the other one's
Mhm.
kind of, like, smarmy and suave, but, like, really into the other one. It's very cool. I like it a lot. Um, the misunderstanding plots are not over drawn out and, like, 'cause you know I hate that. I hate when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have a misunderstanding between the main characters, and they're gonna, like, hate each other because of this," and no, they don't do that. They don't do that. I
Yeah.
appreciate them for that.
I'm not even having that in my book. I'm like, there's clear communication between these bitches from jump.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
I don't get it.
I don't mind if it's, like, 1 or 2, like, chapters like that out of an entire book, but, like, if it's the entire like, if all of their relationship is just them misunderstanding each other and not communicating, fuck that noise.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I I am too grown to watch them not talk to each other. Like, you're
Yes.
adults, you need to talk to each other. And
Mhm.
then the 3rd one I wanna watch is Mr. Unlucky has no choice but to kiss, and which sounds funny. So, basically, the plot is this one guy is super unlucky to the point that, like, just shit is destroyed around him constantly. He can't show up to a place without getting hurt on the way there, and he falls in love with this guy, or he eventually falls in love with this guy who's only lucky. But
Mm.
the lucky guy actually falls for him first,
Mhm.
and he's like, "No, I'm just gonna pretend to like him so that I can, like, survive." And then, like, eventually he actually falls for him, and he's like, "No, I can't be with you because I was just pretending because I wanted to survive, but now I really like you, but I don't feel like I deserve you." And so there's, like, a whole thing with that, and he's like, "I don't give a shit, I just wanna be with you." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So it's adorable, it's super cute, even though there's misunderstandings and, like, some lying, it's not, like, to a degree that makes you uncomfortable. It's a lot more fluffiness and cuteness, which I prefer. I don't mind some angst, but it can't just be angst. There has to be some kind of good dynamic or I get upset about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind light angst. I also don't mind angst that doesn't involve them.
Yes.
I'm sorry for sending you twittering birds. I
Oh my god, that
apologize
is
for
on
that
my
one.
list.
That one is all trauma. That one's just trauma and more trauma. That one's trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. But it's so good. I have a soft spot for gangsters. I'm just gonna say that outright. If there's yakuza involved, I'm reading it. I really like yakuza stories. Yeah. But when you asked me what my first one was, I had to think about it for a hot minute because, like, I don't remember what got me back into it. I just started reading them all of a sudden, and then I've now read, like, 400 types of books, and I don't know where the beginning was. I think it was a manhwa. I think it was a manhwa, but which manhwa? Where did I read
Mhm.
it? I have no idea. I'm reading so many of them now, like, there's no way to tell. No, I have no
BL
idea.
immersion.
Right? Like, basically, it's like, if it's gay, I'm reading it, I'm sorry.
Mhm. Mhm.
If it's gay, I'm there. I'm all in. Oh, but a couple more things about the animation industry before we move on from that.
Mhm.
So, like, things that I've told people about the animation industry, they've always been shocked, like, about the contract thing. Um,
Mhm.
other things to note that you may not know, do you remember Don Bluth, the animator?
Yes.
You
Oh
know,
my
All Dogs
god,
Go
do
to
I remember my
Heaven.
favorite fucking movies were like
Yeah,
John Bluth, and I was like, "Why are y'all fucking with Disney? John Bluth is like the shit."
yeah.
All
So
Dogs
he
Go to
didn't pay
Heaven
his
fucked me up.
animators ever.
What?
He was notorious for just not paying his animators.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something like, again, unless you are actually in the animation industry or, like, went to school with animation people, you would never know because he is beloved because of the stuff he's created. But he was one of those that, like, people would wanna work with him because they're like, "Oh my god, I love your shit." But then they'd work with him and he would, like, just never pay them.
That
He
is
would
so fucked up.
Yeah, like, the last project he started working on was actually an Aladdin movie that never got released because
Uh-huh.
he didn't have a budget and he was just not paying anyone.
Oh.
Yeah. It's bad. Like, if you look up
I
Don
wish he would
Bluth
have paid
doesn't
them.
I
I wish
know.
he would have paid them.
Now,
Because he didn't
the
pay him,
one
his karma got fucked. And now we ain't
Yeah.
got his films.
Mhm. The ones with major studios, I believe people got paid because they had to because it was actually under the major studio instead.
Mhm.
But whenever he tried to do projects on his own, he would just never pay anybody. So, yeah.
That's so fucking gnarled.
Yeah, so he's an asshole, which sucks because I also am very a big fan of some of his work, like Secret of Nim and, um, yeah. I really like the way that he just does the key animation for mouths, but that's neither here nor there at this point. I mean, it doesn't matter now because obviously we can't, like, give him he's long dead, so it's not it's not like it's worth it at this point, but
Thumbelina? Thumbelina was my shit. Titan AE is still my shit. An American Tail.
yep, American Tail and Fievel Goes West and All
Yeah.
Dogs Go to Heaven
And A Land
and
Before
Secret of
Time.
Nim
The
and A
Land
Land
Before
Before
Time.
Time. Yep, the first one at least. I don't think he was
Yeah.
part of most of the other ones. That was just the studio going ham afterwards because they realized they could make money.
Land Before Time was another fucked up one that got in my heart. Because, as a kid, you're like, okay, look, they made it. But even though his mom died, like, Littlefoot's mom stuck with me forever. Like, Littlefoot's mom to this day. Um, but then it's like, oh, we made it to the Green Valley. And it's like, you still gonna die because extinction event.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I wanna say was he behind Brave Little Toaster too? Because
Was
that one
he?
fucked me up.
Who did Brave Little Toaster?
It looks like that one was Jerry Reese.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one fucked me up too, the car getting smashed. The car
Mm,
that had a personality getting smashed.
yep. And then when they were in with all those discarded pieces, like, wasn't that the one where they had a baby doll head? That wasn't Toy Story. They were somewhere freaky.
No, so they ended up in a landfill.
Oh, okay, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, memories just came back.
Right?
Oh, I used to think I had memory issues, which I do, but not
Mhm.
in the way I thought that I had them. I have recall issues. So if I get enough reminders on an event, then I can remember it. Um, but yeah. Whew. Whew.
Yeah, that original movie, like, fucked me up, but I couldn't stop watching it, I fucking loved it.
We were children.
Yeah, I really,
We
really
were
liked Frosted
babies.
Animation as a kid, though, because have you seen The Last Unicorn recently?
Yes, I have. I saw it 2 years ago, and I was like, "I can't believe I watched this as a child."
Right? It is so fucked up. The death themes, the three-titted harpy, that, like, really scary witch lady, like, I'm watching it now
Mhm.
like, this explains a lot about me as a kid.
Yep, yep.
Like, this explains so much about how I turned out as a kid. Like, that
Unrequited
one,
love, like, that was in
ooh,
there too.
baby. Yeah, I
Oh,
like yeah.
hi,
I I
Django.
I left the door open by accident, so he keeps wandering in like, "Hey, I hear you're having fun without me. How dare you?" I am supposed to be part of all the fun, because he's a dog. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I was just thinking about all the things I was obsessed with as a kid, and I was obsessed with that one. I was obsessed with that one. I was obsessed with, Neverending Story, Land Before
Yes.
Time, Secret of Nim, Brave Little Toaster, and I'm like, "Fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up." Princess Bride.
Labyrinth.
I actually didn't see Labyrinth till high school.
Oh, really? I was hooked on
Yeah.
Labyrinth, like, it came on HBO. I recorded it. I set up the VCR to record it. I loved that movie, and then my brother taped over my recording for wrestling. It was like
Oh, you would have been
someone
mad. Mad, mad.
so mad, so mad. But when I think about it, I'm like, "Oh my god, he's the Goblin King." He's how old? And she's 16 or 17
Yeah,
or something like that?
yeah. For me, it was Dark Crystal, which is also
Ooh,
fucked
Dark
up.
Crystal's also fucked.
Everybody's
Dark
like, "Oh,
Crystal's
it's j
also
oh,
fucked.
and Willow, and Willow."
I loved Willow! I loved Willow so much, but it was also fucking
It
super
was
dark.
so scary.
Super dark. Um, but we also grew up in an era where there were metal slides and that
Yeah.
merry-go-round you would sit on and people would spin until you like were catapulted off of it.
Yes.
And
Yeah, like, you would get sick on the merry-go-round
Mhm.
because you could literally have the big kids spin it as hard as humanly possible while on
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I was the one doing the spinning because I was a big kid. But
Yeah, we are elder, just so people know, we are elder millennials.
yeah,
We're
seriously. Like,
we're cuspy. We're Generation Y, the generation that they try to erase. We're cuspy. We're between Generation X and what really falls into millennial. So we're that cuspy generation. So Generation X is all like, we had to tough it out here and tough it out there. And we're sitting here like, we went through the same shit, bitch.
like,
Like we went through the
"Hi, yeah,
same
after
shit.
school programs?" Yeah, I was there
Yeah,
waiting for my mom to pick
yeah,
me up because both parents
yeah.
had to work because that's how life was for back
Or
then.
some of us went home by
Yeah.
ourselves, or some of us were latchkey kids. I was a latchkey kid. So like we get it. We get it.
I lived too
Generation
far
X, we
from
get
my
it.
school for that.
Mhm.
If I lived within walking distance of the school, I would have done that, but I was way too far away from school to be a latchkey kid,
Yeah, I was
so
like
I
a
got picked up
mile
on
or less
accident.
away from school
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
until
no,
high school. Then I was far away and I just took the bus. I was older then.
I went to a magnet school when I was in elementary school.
I did too. It was a Catholic magnet school, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
How do we explain magnet schools to people who don't know what that is?
I guess it's a school for overachievers.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
"It's a school
like
for smart kids?" Like, I don't know how to put that otherwise. Like, it says you have to take a test to get in, and
yes, you
if
have to
you
take a
pass the
test.
test,
There's an
you get
entrance
to go to the
exam and
school.
often a there's an entrance exam and often an IQ test.
Yeah.
So I went to a magnet school too. It's for and there's air quotations I'm making around this gifted kids, gifted children.
Yeah, because I assure you, being a gifted child means you are a depressed adult. There is no
Yes.
there is no in between. You are depressed.
You
Like
are depressed and
like the
sometimes anxious and sometimes like listless and don't know what to do in life at all, like me. Like you're
I
good
saw
at a
this
lot of
meme
things, but
that was like, if you were a gifted kid, the gifted kid to depressed bisexual pipeline is real, and I'm just like, ouch.
so true.
Ouch, like, like, it's like if you were a gifted kid, you're probably depressed and some kind of gay now, and it's like, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oopsie
And getting
doodle.
gayer every
Yeah,
year, getting
right?
gayer every year.
And
Every fucking year.
just
'Cause
old
like
and queer, not giving any
ugh,
fucks anymore.
nope. Nope. Because what is life if not to be lived the way in which we need to be living it?
Precisely,
I still got to
precisely.
figure out something to do. Sweet Jesus. Yeah, the gifted kid trauma is real. Like we often have our middle age crisis
Mhm.
as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a whole existential crisis, and some of us, instead of enjoying our youth, are constantly like encouraged to look at the future and how we need to use our gifts in the future instead of being able to relax and enjoy the now.
Yeah, which often leads most of us to a state of not wanting to do anything. Because if you're
Yeah.
constantly told, "This is what you have to be doing." In 8th grade, I decided to take myself off of Ritalin cold turkey and went insane for an entire year because I was
Wow.
on Ritalin for 8 years straight because
Mhm.
I have severe ADHD. I don't know if
Mhm.
you know this about me, but my ADD is very real and very severe. Um, and, like, I just remember that when I was in, like, kind of kindergarten type of thing, they decided to hold me back from 1st grade because I couldn't sit still. And my mom
Oh.
told me that when they tested me for ADD, they decided I was borderline, so I should be on the medicine. And they also did an IQ test and said that as a 6-year-old, I was answering questions like a 14-year-old boy. And I was like, "And you didn't think about that for a second?" 1, why are they gendering, intelligence?
IQ. Yeah.
And 2, that didn't make you think for a second.
Mhm.
And, like, as a kid, I remember just hating all the gender stuff, and I know we've talked about this before, but, like, hating it, hating it. I hated being misgendered, but I also hated the fact that there were rules around gender in general. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, like, I don't know, so I took myself off Ritalin and, like, legitimately went insane for an entire year. I stopped eating, uh, like, to my own detriment.
Mhm.
I was down to, like, 135 at
And you're tall.
5'10".
You were tall even then.
Yeah, I was 5'10" at 135, which is extremely small.
Yeah.
That's, um,
You were
I was
underweight.
I liked to say I was a skeleton like a scarecrow with tits, because that's how I looked. But, when I tried to talk to my mom about it, she was like, "Well, eat." I'm like, "That's not helpful, mom."
It's like it's not that simple.
I'm
It's
coming
not
to you
that
because I need help. Why are you
I need
telling me to
help.
just eat?
Just eat. Sometimes our
Uh,
parents didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't know how to deal. Like they really didn't. And they were coming from these are the children of either I think our parents were the children of the silent generation or the boomers.
my
Silent
parents are
generation,
boomers.
cuspy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, their parents were born in, like, the 20s,
Mhm.
and lived through the 40s. Um, so, like, the 20s or 30s. So, like, around when the Great Depression was. So, their
Yeah.
parents were born during the Great Depression, and our parents were born in, like, the 50s-ish.
Mhm.
Mine were early 50s, I don't know about yours.
Mine was 50s because my mom went through the civil rights movement. My mom still remembers there were still colored water fountains when my mom was growing up.
Wow.
Yeah. So my mom would be in a store having a drink from a colored water fountain, labeled colored water fountain, using entrances to places that were marked colored,
Mhm,
like all that. So my mom was growing up at the during Jim Crow era, towards the end
mhm.
of Jim Crow era. So yeah, when we think about that, when we think about stuff like that, it can tell us why our parents had certain reactions to things because
Yeah,
of how their parents grew up. Like my mom's parents grew up full during Jim Crow and during a time where you had to step off the sidewalk if
yeah.
a white person was passing. And that even if like I remember my mom being like, "Oh, your best friend is white." And I'm like,
Mhm,
"Yeah, and she's like, "Well, you know your history and what white people do." And I'm like, "Well, I don't see that." And it wasn't until I was older that I
mhm.
started running into more racism, and it wasn't until I
Yeah.
went to an all black segregated, it was traditionally segregated. Like I went to a traditionally segregated high school. Like and I graduated in 1999. And
Hmm.
my bestie went to another traditionally segregated high school. Like
Oh,
yeah, and her school was all white. My school was all black.
that's
They call
crazy.
yeah, they call it traditionally segregated. There's a word for it. And my brother went to a high school where in 1996 he integrated the wrestling team.
What? In 1996?
Yes, he was the first black
Wow.
wrestler at Jesuit High School in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Wow.
So that's how things were. So my mom had certain opinions of things. She really had the like she lacked this softness. Um and she also had some on it like my I think my mom was a narcissist. A covert narcissist.
Mhm,
But she also didn't have wasn't raised with the softness in order to raise me with softness plus being a single
mhm,
mom. And I know that if I don't want to be a parent, I don't want to be anybody's mother, probably because of how I was raised. But if I ever was someone's mother, I know that I have the capacity for softness that she didn't because I haven't experienced things that she experienced as a black woman during the time that she was growing up.
mhm,
And um and I have social media and things around me and access to my own healing and there's certain things that I was told as a black person growing up that we just didn't do, like
mhm.
therapy. But I've had therapy and I'm loving therapy. Like therapy's the shit. So I think our parents like have felt the trauma of their parents, especially with that Great Depression thing.
Mhm,
And it's affected how they respond to us. And I think we've gotten because of social media, because of the internet, because of being able to talk to people, we've been able to recognize patterns that I mean, I'm not excusing them, but I'm saying that what I am saying is that we've had so much opportunity and discourse with each other to be like, "Oh yeah, this wasn't right. This wasn't
mhm.
right. This wasn't right. This wasn't right." And I don't have to forgive, but I don't have to repeat.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's my
and, like,
tangent for today.
I've gotten to a point with my parents where I'm kind of balanced. I know there's just some things
Mhm.
I can't talk about with them,
Yeah.
and I've accepted that to keep the peace, I just can't talk about them, about certain things with them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but, like, we get along otherwise just
Mhm.
fine. So it's not like they pressure me other than just existing in a certain way, like we've talked about. Like, my mother will be very, very down on herself. She has very, very negative self-talk, which I
Mhm.
picked up as a kid,
Mhm.
which is what I've been trying to unlearn is the
Mm.
negative self-talk. And I've gotten to the point where, like, I will call my parents out for certain things if I, don't like the way that they're talking about certain things. But, like, it's because I'm an adult, I can do that,
Yeah.
and if they don't like it, then, we would argue. So that, like, it is what it is. And, like, I know that my parents definitely grew up in the same situation like what you're talking about, because my mom told me when she was in high school, one of the basketball team members asked her to a dance, and she turned him down for his own safety
Mhm.
because she knew that her dad would harm him if she went on a date with a black boy, basically. So
Mhm.
she was like, I couldn't go out with him." And I was like, "Wow, really?" She's like, "Yeah, because of
Yeah, it's
how it was."
within living memory.
Yeah.
Like it's still happening, but it is within living memory that we've had these things are here, and we like to
Yeah.
pretend that we're all better now, we're this or that, and it doesn't exist. And I'm like, bitch, it's in living memory. I don't even talk to my mom. Like I can't. My mom also has negative self-talk that
Mhm.
extends to other people, and she also like she's very much about appearances of
I was like,
things.
she puts that on you 100%. Like, my mom does not put it on me most of the time. She'll, like,
Uh-huh.
tease me for certain things, like, I'm definitely gonna have to hide the Nanami tattoo because she will lose her mind if she sees it, but I can buy socks, it's fine.
So it's like, who
But
this man you got tattooed on your leg?
especially
A
since
whole ass man tattooed on your leg, and then to find out he ain't even a real man.
I like, and beyond that, like, I'm actually considering getting a second one on my other leg in gray and in gray and black because there's another
Mm-hmm.
artist in the area that I like, and he does good portrait work. And it would be like, "You got the same man twice on 2 legs? What is wrong with you?" Be like, "Lots of stuff fine. That's my man."
That's
What's
my man.
what's hilarious to me is that Kurt has accepted it to the point that he asked me if I wanted him to get me a body pillow.
Oh, Kurt's such a sweetie.
And I'm just sitting there going, I don't know, I hadn't thought about it, because like, I don't. And he's like,
You
"Well,
got
okay, I
all
guess."
Miano over it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I like him like that." And he's like, "Yeah, you fucking do." "Should I dye my hair blonde? You want me to get those goggle glasses?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." I mean, yeah, but shut the fuck up.
Kurt's gonna show up one day with blonde hair and those goggles, and I'm not gonna hear from you for a week.
I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen. I mean, but yeah, for real, for real. Um, yeah. So zodiac stuff.
Yes.
I will fully admit that when I realized what having an Aries and Venus meant, it explained my entire life to me
Mm-hmm.
because of who I am as a person. Because for everyone listening, an Aries and Venus means that you are very aggressive with people that you like, in terms of, "You're my friend now," or "We're going to date," and you, like, get obsessive about them, and I'm sorry. If I've
Mm-hmm.
done that to you, for all of the people I've done that to, I'm sorry, but also thanks for being my friend. Kurt says I Kool-Aid manned him.
I can see that.
I was like, "Oh, you
With
got some
you,
walls? Let's break those down."
with you,
Oh,
I can see
baby.
that
Oh, baby.
because you were like, "We're gonna be friends" with that exact intonation and energy. You're like, "We're gonna be friends," and I'm all like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, I guess we're gonna be friends."
It's because I really liked you. I still really like you. I'm obsessed with you. Sorry.
Same. I was like, "Oh shit, okay, we're gonna be friends. All right, that's." And then my brain was like, "Well, this is gonna be a little awkward at first." And
And
or
it
you either
wasn't.
said that. One of us either said it or I thought it. And no, it totally wasn't. It totally wasn't awkward. It was like from that day you're like, "We're friends," and we were friends.
Yeah.
Like hung out at your house all the time, played games, like we were massage partners during class.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good. I was so stressed when you graduated.
What?
I was so stressed. I was like, "Where's my bestie?" Like I felt so I felt abandoned's a strong word, but I felt felt abandoned. I felt like who I'm gonna talk to, who I'm gonna hang out with, who am I gonna lean on, who's like who who I became an owl.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, but whenever I felt unconfident in class, I would just look over at you and then I would feel like confident for some reason. I'd be like, okay, bestie's here. I can do this. Like, I can do this. So I don't think you ever really knew that. But
I did not know that.
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what happened. And so then when you left, I was like, damn, I'm all, all by myself. Don't want to be. Um, and then your ex, who later said we'd never been friends, was like
Jesus Christ.
your
I hate
ridiculous
him.
ex.
He was so jealous of us, though. He was so jealous of us.
I think he
So
felt
jealous.
threatened. I think he felt threatened because he couldn't exert as much control over you when we were together. So he was jealous, but I also think he felt that jealousy was wrapped up in feeling threatened because he couldn't. We were having so much fun without him. Like we would be at each other's house and then
Yeah.
and
Like,
then text when you got home.
I slept over at your place so much. I wanted to sleep over more often, but, like, I realized he'd be mad at me if I did that.
Mhm.
I would have just lived at your house.
Same,
We would
samesies,
we wouldn't have
samesies,
been
samesies,
roommates.
samesies.
We wouldn't have gotten
Yep.
anything done.
No, no, we wouldn't have. We would get, well, we might have because now we hang out and we have our creative time. We probably would have figured that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to have been feeding you though.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not I don't remember to eat
I'd
now.
I'd be cooking.
You would?
I'd be cooking.
That would have been great, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I am a Virgo sun with a Sag moon and Gemini rising.
Okay, okay. So I'm a Taurus sun with a Cancer no, a Capricorn moon and a Cancer rising.
Ah.
Yeah, so my Cancer rising, I think, is why I cry at all the anime all the time. I'm emotional about it, but I'm only emotional with people I'm comfortable with. That's the Capricorn moon.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
that is a Capricorn. Let's see.
I only show the
Gemini.
vulnerability when I feel safe. So, if you've seen me cry during anime, that's why.
Um, so my Gemini rising has, so according to this, intellectual, witty, sociable, curious, adaptable, and open-minded, which is probably why I'm like anything goes.
Mm, mm. I love Co-Star.
Oh, they tend to be arrogant, apathetic, and unpredictable. Okay, I accept my own arrogance. I am. I think I'm arrogant and I'm judgy, except with people that I love. Like, and I think that's my Virgo and my Gemini ascendant. I do like, especially when I get hungry. Carta, when I get hungry and I'm out in these streets, I'm judging everyone. There was one time I was like judging people in the Sprouts parking lot while I was eating something
And
because
then
I
you
was
stopped
hungry.
once you hit a level of satiation like The Sims.
Yes, one, I stopped when I hit a certain level, but two, I was getting crumbs out of my decollage.
Your dick my titty shelf.
But what I didn't realize was that I had pulled my shirt down so far that my tits were exposed while I was judging people. So basically, I was sitting in the car, tits out,
Oh my
judging
god.
people while picking food out of my chest shelf. Um, but yeah, and Bertha can tell when I'm hungry too, because I start judging the world. I start judging everything. Like there'll be complete silence, and I'll be like, "Let me tell you about this bitch." Oh, let me tell you what happened. I know this is I know this is different, but so Bertha had recently had an incident where they were online, and she is the child of Holocaust survivors, and she was basically writing, "I'm the child of Holocaust survivors. I'm Jewish, and I support people in Palestine."
Mhm.
Um, and just so everybody knows, we support Palestine.
Yes.
Um, and even though Palestine doesn't always support us because they're really anti-queer,
Mm.
but we don't support genocide. So
Yeah.
there we are. Um, so like this person got really angry and started like attacking Bertha, and Bertha is an Aquarius, so that didn't work. And then they came on my page and my comments on my Instagram in my house and was like, "You shouldn't support this person." In my comments under my pictures, two people posting multiple times. They were like, it's disgusting to
They
support
are
someone like
so
this.
aggressive about it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Ugh.
so then I wasn't the only one. They went and messaged at least two other people, telling them Bertha's anti-Semitic because she's anti-Zionist. And this is something I'm seeing like a lot of happening around me.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of there's whew, it's so fucked up. But yeah, but I'm just like, and part of me was like, as a Virgo, I was ready to pick this bitch apart eloquently. But I thought to myself, I'm just gonna block this bitch. I'm gonna erase her comments. I'm gonna block this bitch because I don't have the time to do it today. I did write bitch bye, but I didn't realize when I blocked her that it erased all my comments to her because it erased her
Oh,
comments.
that happens, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
that too.
yeah. So, but yeah, as a Virgo, I try not to argue because I get vicious. My arguing does come from a place of that whole arrogance and judginess, and I will pick people apart, which is why I often don't argue with people.
Yeah, I'm the same. Cause like, my Taurus comes out real hard, and, like, the thing about Taurus is we don't get angry easily, but
Mhm.
once we're angry, we're burning everything to the ground regardless of where we're standing.
Mhm.
If we're on a bridge, we're burning that too.
Yeah.
Everyone's burning, I don't give a shit.
And Capricorn has a lot of "I will finish him" energy. Like,
Yes. Yeah, so that in my moon, according to the co-star, um, it says that so the moon rules your emotions, moods, and feelings. So since my moon is in Capricorn, it says that your emotional self is somewhat repressed in the name of responsibility, seriousness, and rationality. But
mhm.
add that to the Cancer rising, which is literally the most emotional.
Cancer is the most emotional sign. I love them.
Yeah, it's so funny. It says because your ascendant is in Cancer, you come across as gentle, intuitive, and warm, though some may regard this as overly emotional or sensitive to criticism. But like, I'm both super hard line and a soft bean at the same time, which doesn't make sense unless you know me, and then it makes complete sense. Like, I'm unbothered 90% of the time, but once I'm bothered, I'm fucking bothered.
I am bothered.
But yeah, it's funny.
I just got another
And
friend on CoStar.
but yeah, it's funny.
I just got another
And
friend on CoStar.
what I like the best about CoStar though is that of all of my friends, you are the only one I don't have any frowny faces with.
Oh, yay! No, we get along so well. We get along so I'm trying to find my chart so I can see Sun in Virgo, ego, your role in life, particularly smart, responsible, hardworking, and self-sacrificing. I need to work on the self-sacrificing part.
Mhm.
Thorough, meticulous, intentional, can accomplish things that most people can't, but also get bogged down in details. You have a need to be wholesome. I love being wholesome. Okay, I love being wholesome and also a nasty, nasty freak. Like I come off as real wholesome in the street, but when we get home, I'm like fully on top. But even when I'm like literally topping someone, I'm kind of wholesome. Like this one
I
guy I
can see
remember
that. You
topping.
you definitely would hold people while
Yeah.
making them do everything you want.
Yes. There was one guy I was topping and he had luxurious hair and I have him like bound up to the St. Andrew's cross, which is this cross that's shaped like an X for St. Andrew. And he's bound up to this X cross and I'm flogging him and I grab his hair cuz I'm a hair puller. I love pulling hair. I love pulling hair. So I grab Butcher's hair and I'm pulling it and I'm like, "Oh my god, his hair is just so thick and luscious and luxurious like and I can smell it. It smells good." And I'm like, "Does your wife pick out your shampoo?" And
Wow.
and he's like he's like, "Yes, mistress." And I'm like, "What brand do you use? Because your hair is amazing." He's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, and I pull it harder. And I'm like, "How the hell can you not know what brand your wife?
You
Don't
put it
you
on
use
your
this shit
head.
like
Yeah.
almost?" I'm like, "You aren't attentive. You aren't paying attention." He's like, "I just never thought to look. I just don't remember, mistress." And I'm like, "How dare you?" And like, I go in on how he's like how he should be more appreciative of his wife, how he should notice details, and all this whole time we're laughing. I'm pulling his hair and flogging him, and it was very sweet. Like I didn't
Mhm.
call him dirty names or anything like that. I was just like, I'm gonna, it was fun. But that's the kind of top I am. Like we
Mhm.
laugh, we play, even when I'm topping. It's like really, really in a wholesome way. Even when I'm doing nasty stuff, it's still wholesome. So yeah. I do, and I love wholesome shit. Like wholesome shit is like if I had a
That's
choice
the
between
feet kicking
straight up
stuff.
if I had a choice between straight up porn and something wholesome, I'm gonna choose something wholesome. I mean, I'm gonna
See,
try to
I'm the
find a way to.
opposite. 90% of the time, I'm like, give me the smut, give me the smut, give me the smut. I also very much enjoy the wholesome, don't get me wrong. But like, I will say, of my reading list that you're reading, I'll have like 2 titles that are wholesome and the rest is smut. Like, I've only shown you a small indication of the things that I read. I read a lot. I read too much. Like just hundreds of manga. Hundreds.
I forgot. I'm listening to stuff on Pocket FM because it's free.
Mhm.
After you read a little bit, I'm listening to one called The Billionaire's Accidental Bride.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Stupid. But it's also like wholesome in the way it's being told. Like the characters want to have sex, but they're not having sex yet. They're holding it off. But what I think is hilarious about reading this, like listening to this, like romance novel, which is stupid. It has something like 200 something chapters. It's stupid. Um, is that whenever he kisses her, there's this sound in the audio
Mhm.
track that is like, that's not sexy kissing. And then it's like he placed her gently on the bed and you hear thwump. Like, and it's like, that is not gentle. He just dropped that bitch on the couch. Like, let's be real. Let's be honest about these sounds. But so yeah, Pocket FM. And the narrator's voice who's reading it is like,
Mhm.
and then he kissed her. Emma didn't know what to do. She was falling in love with him. And I'm like, this voice is so annoying, but I also can't turn away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a good thing. Let's see. My moon is in Sagittarius, and co-star says your moon rules emotions, mood, and feelings. This is likely the sign you think of yourself as, since it reflects
Mhm.
your personality when you're alone or deeply comfortable. Meaning your emotional self is restless, self-questioning, optimistic, and independent. You hide your sensitivities behind an interest in finding new ways to feel. Um, which is true. I am restless and self-questioning and also optimistic and independent. And
So
my
it tells me
rising,
that I crave the guidance and comfort of a teacher or parent, the moon in Capricorn, and I'm like, my immediate instinct is, "No, I don't." And then I also remember that I have to be told to eat food on a daily and I'm
that sh-
like, I don't
that
want
you
my
need a hit on no
dad,
senpai.
but I need a daddy, I don't want a parent, but I need to be taken care of.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
My moon is in Sagittarius. And oh wait, we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we were just talking, so we're in ascendant now.
Ascendant. Ascendant is a master you present to people. It could be seen as your personal style and how you come off to people when you first meet. Some people say it's less relevant as you get older. It changes every 2 hours, so it doesn't make sense. Reconfirm your birth time to make sense. To make sure. Okay, whatever. That's like what ascendant is. Your
Mhm.
ascendant in Gemini means you come across as quick-witted, chatty, eclectic, and fun, though somewhat inconsistent. In conversation, you seem probing and curious. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. What about you?
That was the one that I come across as gentle, intuitive, and warm, although some may regard this as overly emotional or sensitive to criticism. I think I
I've
do come
never
across as
felt you
gentle and
as
warm.
you do, but I haven't noticed you be sensitive to criticism.
Oh, I am.
Uh,
I very much am. I just, I'm good at hiding it probably because of having the Taurus and the Cap, because
mm,
those are more stoic signs in general. So, like, I can I can mask my emotions a little bit more, I think, than, maybe because of that.
Mhm.
However, I think a lot of people see me as being calm. Like, a lot of people like, it's so weird because at work, like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, your voice is so calming. I love having you on calls with me." And I'm like, "What?"
Mm.
My voice is relaxing? But then again, I have a calm voice that I specifically put on at work.
Mm. What's
Like,
your work voice?
I will push calm out, and it's like, I'm trying to I don't have a way to put it on, but, like, basically, when I talk to clients, I stay very even in the way that I talk, and I
Mhm.
come across as competent. So I'm basically putting on a facade that I know what I'm doing and that I'm trying to tell you what you
It's
should be doing as well.
it's not a facade. You totally know what you're doing.
No, 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 I'm making stuff up 90% of the time. I'm just gonna put that out there. But nobody knows that I'm making it up as we go because it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, and I do to a
I
certain
feel
degree.
like this
So
is your
I
work
know
voice.
it is, I went into it. Um, but basically, I've been able to cultivate an aura of calmness in meetings with clients, and I do that on purpose because if clients are upset because the system isn't working how they want it to, or they can't use the system in the way that they want it to, I am able to calm down clients that are very much on fire simply by being calm and competent, because that tells them that
Mm,
they're being
mhm.
taken care of because I'm here to take care of you and make sure that we have things set up for you in the way that you want it set up.
You have a mommy voice. You're topping them.
I do, yeah.
You have a mommy voice. You're topping them.
So,
Oh my god.
and some people are like, "You should go into doing audiobooks." I'm like, "I mean, I guess I could." But, like, it kind of weirds me out when people have that reaction to my voice because I remember working front desk, I would put on the voice for front desk, and I remember just answering the phone one time and this guy being like, "Oh my god, your voice is so sexy," and I'm like, "Who the fuck
I've
are you?
I've had that
Leave
happen
me
to me.
alone."
I've had that
Well,
happen to me with my work voice.
I mean, we do have really nice voices though.
We do. We do. I know that mine go up like whenever I'm talking to you, it
Often.
goes up like Sasaki. It goes up like
Yeah, it's you.
fucking octave when I talk to you, but when I was working front desk, my voice was like, "Hello, how are you?" Like it was
Yeah,
very
it's
much
very
like
calm, very even.
low, calm. One
You gotta
moment, I'll direct you there.
Yep,
Um, and
we gotta
I
sound
remember
like a
calling
robot.
people. Yep, yep, sexy robot. And then I remember calling someone over the intercom to come to the front desk. And when he got there, he leaned over my desk and he said, "You shouldn't be allowed to do that." And I was like, "Allowed to do what?" He's like, "Summon people with your voice." And I was like, "What do you
What?
mean summon people with your voice?" Like, your voice is very, and he was searching for the word like to say. He's like, it's very, he's like alluring. He searched for the word alluring. And another one behind him was like, her voice is hot. It's like her voice is hot. I love it when she calls me over the intercom.
So, you have a very velvety voice
Mhm.
in that, like, it gets soft and you wanna rub it on you.
Yes, thank you. That is a high compliment. Thank you. Oh my god. Aw, I feel good about my voice now. I've thought about becoming a voice actor, but I don't know how to get started with it. I would love to read smutty romance novels to people because when I really try, I have good diction.
Yeah.
My normal talking voice is very much higher and I do have a bit of a southern drawl, especially when I get excited.
Mhm. That's not a bad thing. There
No, it's
are
not.
there are sites that you can put examples of your voice on. Um,
Oh,
I had some
nice.
saved. Voice acting sites. What's the main one?
Nice.
There's voices.com where
Mhm.
you can go, but you basically have to, and then where's the other one? There was another one that
Oh.
no, not that one. I'm trying to find the other one that because like I had somebody recommend some to me. Um, because like I have also looked into it. It's just having a good microphone, which I do now, and then figuring out a way to record yourself. So you'd have to have like a recording program that you could edit to be able to upload the voice samples to.
Mm. All right, why am I signing up for this shit now? I'm like, I'm gonna sign up. I might be able to get work as a voice actress. Well, actor. Oh, thanks. Get started. Okay. Complete your. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that later.
Yeah, I think voices.com is the main thing that people are using right now.
Hmm.
I mean,
And I
they've
have
got
been on phone dates.
Mhm.
Um, I've went on a few dating websites, and I had a few phone dates. And I noticed that, oh, I totally dropped my voice. Like, I don't change my character or who I am, but I totally drop my voice when I'm meeting people over the phone for the first time. And I think it's because I do want to seem more in control. And having a deeper voice,
Mhm.
for some reason, feels more, mm, it feels more, it works with my gender expression more.
Yeah. I like being able to modulate my voice like that as well
Hmm.
because I can go lower if I feel like in my head that my voice is lower most of the time, which is wrong. Every time I hear myself on audio, I'm like, "God damn it." I've gotten used to myself on audio though, which is good. And
Good.
I know I can go higher, but, like, unless I'm really forcing it, it's not gonna go much lower. Though when I'm sick, it gets low pretty fast because I'm, like, gravelly, like, right when I wake up, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but, like, I feel like my calm voice is, like, mid-level. Like, when I go
Hmm.
calm, it goes a little bit higher than my normal voice, but it's not, like, super high. Somebody mentioned something that I found interesting is that when speaking with men, our voices will tend to go higher for protection because you're
Oh.
thinking of, like, sounding more femme to either gain protection or to not come off as
A threat.
yeah,
That's
and I
so
hadn't
wild.
thought about
I
that.
lower my voice intentionally when talking to men.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Yep. I lower my voice intentionally when
Interesting,
talking to
nice.
them. Hmm. And
Um,
I'm like, let me see, like, how low can I go?
right? Like, I love that.
I think I can get a little bit lower, and I think this is as low as I can go with comfort.
I think I haven't actually tried going much lower, but I think this is the lowest I can go with comfort. Um, I tend to sing lower as well. Like, I'm more comfortable
I
in
do
the
too.
alto range than I can't go much into the soprano range, and I don't want to.
I have a 3 octave range in
Oh,
singing.
Well,
Mhm.
that's fancy. That's fancy.
I have a full 3 octaves. So I love songs to be able to sing that has, a variation of octaves, that it goes high and goes low. So when I was singing on stage, which I used to do a lot in San Francisco and Oakland, I would start off I love starting off a song with, like, a deep, raspy kind of voice. I can sing lower than I can talk,
Mhm.
and then I can, like, I'll do a what is it called? I'll do a run, and it'll get high and then loop back down.
Mm-mm-mm.
I really miss doing that. But what I really miss is about when I'm on stage, when I was on stage hosting a show, I spoke in a higher voice.
Mhm.
I spoke like this when I was giving hosting shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but then when I would start to sing, it'd go all the way down here. And
Mhm.
it would always throw the crowd a little bit to hear me talk so high, and then I'd hit that first note and they're like, so I used to love that. But I know when I'm speaking to men, like my range goes about here.
Yeah.
And I think it's because more than protection, I want them to take me fucking seriously.
Yeah. What's funny is, like, I'll listen to Kurt do that because he talks mid-range normally, and then
Mhm.
if he gets on the phone with, like, a dude from work, I hear him, like, use his, like, super deep voice, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Doesn't sound like you at all. So everybody does some kind of, I think, masking with that, which is interesting to me.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think just talking about zodiac stuff is fun. That's why I wanted to do it. But voices are fun too. Like, I don't know, like I feel like the way that I talk changes depending on who I'm talking to. Like
Mhm.
some people are going to get more range than others. Like if I'm really comfortable with you, you get a lot more of my verbal range. If I'm not comfortable with you, you only get calm me,
Mhm.
which is fine. Like that still gets me by in life, but like it's not it's you. Nobody else gets that kind of energy unless I'm really comfortable with them.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And sometimes when I'm high, my voice is gets so high. My octave because
You
when
get
I'm high or
squeaky
when I'm
sometimes.
it totally gets squeaky. When I'm high, it's like the higher I am, the higher my octave is. And sometimes I'll hear the sound of my own voice when I'm high, and I'll be like, "Oh Jesus, I sound like a fucking chipmunk. I sound like Chipette or whatever her name was. I sound like the
Yeah,
Chipettes right now."
that's so funny.
Um, and when I was younger, my voice was
Yeah,
even higher.
I think
I
I think
sounded
so for me as well. No, actually, I used to speak in a lower octave on purpose all the time.
mhm,
Just all the time. I would try to, I think.
mhm.
I miss singing with you. We used to do
Yeah.
singing together, and that was so
Rock
fun.
band too.
Yeah,
When I come
that
visit you,
was
we're
fun.
just gonna have to go sing karaoke. Yeah.
Yeah, we totally
Yeah, we'll go
should.
sing karaoke.
But I was talking to one of my other friends earlier about old games because she was like,
Mhm.
"When did you first get on the internet?" And I'm like, "Well, I first got on the internet because we were talking about like basically learning how to program to create websites when we were younger." And it
Yeah.
reminded me that the first website I ever created was on GeoCities. And I
Mhm.
mentioned GeoCities to her, and she's like way younger, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like,
Oh!
"Don't worry about it.
Oh my god!
If you don't know GeoCities, I'm not explaining it to you."
That is the deep magic.
Right? I'm like, "Well,
The
back
old
in the
tomes.
day, we could create websites wherever the fuck we wanted to." And this one, it was really easy. You just had to know like really basic HTML and you could
Mhm.
make your own website. And Erica and us created a website called I'm in love with an anime character
Oh my god,
for
that's adorable. You've been that
for
way for so long.
for our Fushigi Yugi men, because she was obsessed with Hotohori and I was obsessed with Toski, and like all of us were obsessed with a different character. So we basically like created this site for our obsessions and just like wrote entire articles about how much we loved these fucking characters. I swear to God, it was like, I'm like, so I have always been this way. I have always been this way. Um, so I was telling her about that, and she was like, "Yeah, when was the first computer that you had?" Because she's like, "That was like 1998, right?" I'm like, "Oh my God, sweetie, no. It was
No.
96. It was 96 when we did that because that was eighth grade." And then but I've had computers since, like, the late '80s. Like, we had the
Mhm.
MS-DOS machines with the floppy disks, like, the
Mhm.
actual big-ass disk that you could flop around because it was actually floppy, and you had to, like, stick it in and, like, do that little thing to make it go. Which reminded me
Yes.
of this MS-DOS game that I was obsessed with. And so I immediately went to go look it up because of who I am as a person, and I immediately found it because of who I am as a person, and it's called Midnight Rescue, and
Uh-huh.
the entire premise of it is that you are going against, this, like, masked bad guy who's going to paint the school invisible at midnight. So you have a time limit where you have to read all these clues and come up from reading comprehension through the clues as to which robot contains the bad guy. And you have to
Okay.
confront that robot and accuse that robot of being the bad guy. But if you accuse the wrong robot, that robot runs over you and paints the school invisible. So you have to be very specific about which robot you accuse of being the master of mischief. And if you accuse, yes, his name was the master of mischief, that was the bad guy. It's awesome. The soundtrack, excellent. I highly recommend it. I can send you a link to be able to play it for free online if you wanna try it, but I love it so much. It is the most fun, and, like, I would still play it now. I would still play
Mhm.
it stands up. Yeah, it was a reading comprehension game, I don't give a shit. It was fun.
Oh,
The way they made it was fun. It was an MS-DOS game, I don't care. I would still play it now. Um, of course, you can't because the current computers don't run MS-DOS games unless you play it through an emulator, which is what you have to play it through for free because I'm old. But, yeah, that
I
just
remember
reminded
having
me.
to type commands in,
Yep.
like, command codes. Like, I remember when icons, desktop icons became a
Mhm.
thing and being upset at them. Like, finding I was mad that you could click a button and open a program. I was so used to my green screen and
Mhm.
typing in my commands, like that exec. Um, I remember dot matrix printers where the paper had the holes on the side
Mhm.
and that rolled up and how they would get
Yes,
stuck and
that is
stuff
how
like
we
that.
had our first printer as
Mhm.
well. We had the roll-up kind with the frickin' holes in the side of the paper to
I
be able to
even have
print.
some of my writings that I printed up on that paper
Oh, and the
in
jet
some
paper from back in the day?
binders.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I have to retype them into something because they're gonna fade away from existence if I if I
They will, that
don't.
ink was not stable at all.
Yeah, yeah, not at all. And I remember my MySpace. MySpace
Yes.
is still up and running, but I think they're for musicians now.
Yeah, they changed the way that they function because I think actually Justin Timberlake bought it, if I remember right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's one of the owners of MySpace currently.
Oh. Oh. That's so I loved MySpace because you could, like, use HTML. I remember my journal on MySpace had, um, dun 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 dun. Um, I forget what that song is called, but it had that on that Dave Berberak band playing something. And I remember having HTML designs behind my page and putting in pictures and all this other stuff that was cute. So I left MySpace because MySpace was becoming a portal for thirsty men.
Mm.
And I moved on to Facebook. And what really launched me to getting onto Facebook was actually Hurricane Katrina.
Oh.
Yeah, because I wanted to keep in contact with my friends who had been displaced, and a
Mhm.
majority of them were on Facebook and were using Facebook as a way to check up on each other and find out what everyone was doing and how everyone was, because there was no other way to mass communicate with each other.
Yeah.
So I got on Facebook when Katrina happened, um, and I've been on Facebook ever since. I'm still mad at Facebook for not being as customizable as MySpace. I miss how customizable MySpace was. But yeah, I switched over from LiveJournal and MySpace to WordPress and Facebook.
Yeah, a bunch of people I know are still angry that LiveJournal went away
Yeah,
because,
me too. It was
like
a community.
yeah, I was gonna say because of the community with it.
It was a community. I don't feel like there's the same community on
No, on nothing else.
WordPress. Yeah. LiveJournal, you went on there to read and it was like you're reading someone's journal. Like
Mhm.
there was like a level of respect there. Um WordPress just feels like a bunch of different sites because they don't just cater to blogs, but yeah, but yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Ugh,
Oh,
the old internet days. Forging the internet,
right? Like, I feel like we were cowboys
pioneering it.
of the internet. Like, I know a
Mhm.
bunch of Gen Xers will tell us that we weren't there at the beginning, but I assure you I
We were
was.
there at the beginning.
My parents were early adopters to shit, so I was in, like, fucking 6th grade in AOL chat rooms getting the ASL asked of me at, like,
Yes.
12. I should have
Yes.
been abducted, like, 20 times because I had no filters with anybody.
Yeah, no. I was in the AOL chat rooms. I was in the ICQ. Was it ICQ or IQC? ICQ,
I think it
I
was
think it
ICQ,
was.
yeah.
I remember trying to download shit. I remember how long it would take for anything to load. Um, I remember when it became a thing that phones, you could be on the phone and use the internet at the same time.
Eventually, like oh my god,
It took a while. It took a long time.
I had to, like, put a sweater over the computer so that it wouldn't scream every time I went online after my parents went to bed,
Mhm.
because the internet screamed at us.
Yeah, it did.
The internet
Yeah, it did.
screamed at us. Oh my god, my parents were so mad at me because I used it all the time, just constantly. And it was expensive back in the day. You had to, like,
It
pay for
was.
minutes and shit. Like, you had to pay for texts too. Like, the kids
You
today
had
don't
to
know
pay
how
per
good they have
text.
it.
Oh my god, you had to pay per text, and you had to wait for a certain time at night
Mhm.
for your
To
calls to
call.
be able to call someone.
Yeah.
It was like 7 o'clock or some shit. No, it used to be 9 o'clock, and then they pushed it up to 7 o'clock, and it was like a game changer.
Yeah.
It was like a game changer. Yeah, but you had to pay for text. You had to pay for long distance phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely unhinged. And now we're
Mhm.
like, "We only have to pay for international." Yeah, that's awesome. It's not how
Yeah,
it used to be, but that's awesome.
and but you don't have to use WhatsApp. Then you could just call international.
I know. I send voice messages to Australia and Wales on the regular because I have
Mhm.
people there that I hang out with sometimes, and voice messages are the shit.
They are.
It's
I'm
so
just gonna
funny.
start sending you more voice messages when I'm high.
You
I be trying to
should.
type you.
No,
but
send
I
send
can't
it,
focus.
but send them on Facebook because Instagram limits you to a minute, and I can't. I can't be constrained by minutes.
Okay, cool.
I need
Cool.
to be able to talk, and Facebook will let you do like I think up to a half hour of message if you want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Line does the same thing, and
Nice.
I have filled a half hour full of message before. It's so funny though, because like I'll send my drawings to Zach too, and he's like, "I look forward every night to art time." And when I get the daily dose of art, I'm like, "Shut up."
Ah, Zach is the best.
He's so fun. He's very supportive.
Yes. Although part of me's like, I don't know if I'm prepared for him to read my smut when I get to this
I understand
when I
your
get
worry about
to the
that.
smut part.
I understand. But I think you'll be okay.
Okay. I'm like, I don't want you to look at me differently, Zach. I swear I'm wholesome too.
I think he'll understand. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
I think he knows who we are as people
Mm-hmm.
because like he'll ask me what I'm reading and I'll tell him. I wouldn't recommend this to you because there's lots of dicks in it. And he's like, okay, I understand. It's just so many cocks. It's a cock comic because that's what I
Oh my
read.
god, you literally sent me a cock comic. Dick Fight Island.
Yes,
Like
I did. That was a cockfighting cock comic with lots of dicks. Just so many, so many. Like that's I'm
so much
sorry,
dick.
but that is my comfort space. I'm like we watch something with super trauma and I'm like I'm either watching Sasaki and Miyano after this or I am going to read a comic with a man getting dick down so hard that it gives me comfort. I'm not apologizing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just my reading preference. I'm sorry.
Nice.
It's my
Nice.
comfort space involves
I'm probably
dicks.
gonna have a bowl of cereal or yogurt and
Mm.
watch Heaven's Official Blessing later today. That's gonna be
Yeah, that sounds good.
my
I don't
thing.
know what I want for dinner. Maybe I'm not hungry. I mean, I should eat. I've only had a snack
Yes,
today.
you should eat, friend.
I don't
You should have food.
like I like food while I'm eating it, but unless it's put in front of me, I don't choose it. Except snacks. Snacks
Maybe
I
we
will have
both would have
all the time.
starved. I'm like the same way about food, but I
Like
think I
we will
probably would
just
have fed us.
yeah, I was like, you will feed us because you would have the instinct that you don't want me to die. So you
Yes,
would
that's
make
what would
sure
happen. I would be feeding you
and
and
then you
end
would
up
eat
eating
with me.
myself.
So
Yeah.
it would end up being fine because like between the two of us, you would be like, "Why do I feel like shit?" And I'm like, "'Cause you're not eating food." And you're like, "Oh, that's a good point."
You literally had to do that to me once, like when I broke up with Tarek,
Yeah,
and I
I
was like,
know. I was there.
you're like, I was like, I feel dizzy, and you're like, that's because you're not eating. And I was like, oh, because I
That
wasn't
broccoli
eating and I
salad
was
got us
working.
through it though. That one
Yes,
broccoli salad
Whole
from
Foods. Was it
no,
Whole Foods?
it was Ralph's because there was the Ralph's right next to
Ah,
the Massage
yeah.
Envy. It had, like, raisins and shit in it. I don't know why it was
Hmm.
so good, but that shit was delicious.
It was good. It was good. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. I loved working with you at where we used to work. Even though I didn't like all of the front desk people all the time, because they
Yeah.
treated us like we were just bodies,
Mhm.
like we were machines.
Some of them were
And
worse than others about that.
Yeah, some of them true, some of them were worse than others. I remember I had just worked a gig in San Francisco at the DNA Lounge. And then I would leave from there, come home to Sunnyvale, where I was living with my ex, Tragic Jesus. And I came into work the next day and I was so sick. And it turned out that someone had roofied me. Cause I remember when I had one drink.
Mhm.
I had one drink. And one drink at a club doesn't normally take me out, but
Yeah.
that drink took me out. And Tragic Jesus had to get me in the car and get me home. And I fell asleep so hard and I don't remember the ride home, but I was able to get up for work. I threw up in the bathroom
Mm.
and I was trying to clean it up and there was a knock at the door and I think it was the tall skinny white boy who looked like an elf.
I remember him. Okay, yeah. The blonde, right? He was the one that kept insisting I needed to take acid, and I'm like, "Bruh, I don't. Let me explain to you why I don't need to take acid." And I had to, like, tell him one of the dreams I had the previous night, and he's like, "Alright, I'll
Huh?
leave you alone." I'm like, "Good, do. Please remember this. You're high ass. It's fine."
I used to blush over him all the time. I thought it was
What?
so, yeah. Look at this Legolas looking at us. What is
Oh my
Legolas looking at
god.
us? I'm talking. I
He
was
did
into
he
it.
he looked fucking baroque. Not broke as in not having money. I mean baroque.
BARQ
BAROQUE.
U
Yes,
O E.
he did. He looked like he was a fucking prince from a long ass time ago, and he had that French prince fuckboy energy though, so I don't know why. Wait, that is entirely why you were into it, never mind.
Yes, that's entirely. That's the whole reason why. That's the whole
Oh my
reason
god.
why.
That is why I avoided him like the plague, and meanwhile, you're like, "Yum, yum, lick him up," and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm
"Friend,
like, give me more, give me more. But
have
he
some
was the one who was knocking
self-respect."
on the door.
He did have that gentle, "I wanna take care of you" energy, 'cause he had trouble
He,
taking care of himself a lot of times, so I think that makes sense.
yeah, he did. And I remember, so he came in the bathroom while I'm on my hands and knees trying to clean up,
Mhm.
and I'm like super embarrassed. And he's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "I think I got roofied at the club last night and I need to go home." And so he's like, "Stop cleaning this up." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to clean it up because I did it and I don't want anyone else to clean it up." Because we didn't have someone who was coming. I don't remember if we had someone who was coming in and cleaning. We
Mhm.
must have, but I didn't want the clients to like
To
come
see
in
it,
there
yeah.
and to see that. And there was no one there at the time, and I didn't want someone at the front desk having to deal with it or whatever. So he went to the front desk to tell them I needed to leave. And then someone from the front desk came up and she I believe she was a blonde and she was a little chubby.
Mhm. Oh, I remember her, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, "Well, you have a client. Can you wait to go home before you can you do this client before you go home?" And Elf King was like, "No, can't you see she needs to go home now?"
Yeah.
So
Like, how are
he
you gonna be sick and touch a client? That's no.
mhm.
I can't
And
believe she said that.
so
Well,
yeah, she
yes,
said
I
that.
can actually.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
one.
her.
Yeah, that one, that bitch. And so he like defended me. He like helped me clean up and then he got me out of there. So like, but aside from that, I got something embarrassing to say about it too.
Mm.
So remember the burly Mexican guy that worked there?
Yeah.
So I didn't know he had a fiance.
He had a fiance?
Yeah, see, you didn't know either.
No, because he didn't talk about it.
No.
He got let
One day
go.
he had me.
Do you remember
He
that?
did. He needed to get let go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Why did he get let go? Was he doing stuff
He
inappropriate?
Yeah, he got accused of doing inappropriate stuff to clients.
I believe. I believe because we did inappropriate shit.
No. I mean, I believe it from him. Wow. Friend. What part of "you do not do inappropriate stuff on the table" did you not remember about from
I mean,
school?
he was another massage therapist. We weren't working on each other at the time. It was our break. For anyone who's listening to this online, the look that Carter just gave me was like, bitch, what the fuck you mean, bitch?
We have always been able to communicate with our eyes. That was incredibly accurate in terms of interpreting my visage.
Oh, that's a good
Because
word. I'm going to use that in the book.
okay, I think we're gonna need to get further into this, but let's do that next time because I have to pee really bad. So
Okay. All right, cool. Cool. We'll talk about indiscretions next
yes,
episode.
I think that because I need to hear all of this. I need to hear the entire thing. Like, if we can pause this and come back to it, that is fine, but
Oh
I
yeah.
cannot continue
Yeah.
laughing while I need to pee this bad, so
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, it's been a slice. It's been a slice, you guys. And
as
now it's
always,
time
we are
for us to sign
entirely
off.
too honest.
So we will see y'all next week. And I guess that's it, you guys. We're leaving on a smutty cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger. We will come back to it next week, though, we promise. I will
Okay.
remember. I'm not
Okay.
gonna remember. I'll remember. I'm gonna listen to it this week, actually, so to remind myself. I need to catch up
Mm-hmm.
on our episodes.
Yes. All right, friend. And all right, friends. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.